I want you to imagine that someone you know just disclosed to you that they were a victim of sexual assault on their own college campus. Now, while this might be an imagination for you, for many people it's a reality. The prevalence of sexual assaults on college campuses isn't only stomach-turning, but it's alarming. And I hope that in this presentation, I can encourage you to push for your school to implement solutions like the ones that I will present in order to combat sexual violence on their own campuses. Now, before I get into those solutions, I want to introduce a few statistics from the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. According to RAINN, over 26% of female undergraduates and over 6% of male undergraduate students end up becoming a victim of sexual assault or rape on their campus. And unfortunately, over half of these occurrences happen within the first semester of being at school. Now, while there's high victim numbers, there's low report numbers. Of the 26% of women who were raped, only 20% will end up reporting. And unfortunately for men, the report statistics are even lower. Now, a lot of this stems from an obviously justifiable fear that they have following the rape, and a lot of it is fear of the perpetrator, because fortunately, 90% of college sexual assault victims know their perpetrator. Their perpetrator could have been a friend, just an acquaintance, or in some cases, even a professor or teacher. Now, the first solution to some of these issues would be providing safer transportations. Colleges need to provide their students with safer rides. So, campus police bringing in cars to transport students from point A to point B of the university. Now, this was shown in a social science research network that safe ride programs and car sharing programs, just an increase in them by 1%, decrease the chances of sexual assault dramatically. And the second and third solutions, buddy systems and security escorts, sort of go hand in hand. They're very similar. But a buddy system just ensures that no one is ever walking alone. You go to a party late at night, you walk with someone, you walk back with someone. You're never alone. The chances of you being assaulted dramatically increase when you are alone. And a security escort is essentially your buddy, but it would be a campus police buddy. So, like this girl here, say you felt threatened or you were scared, you reach out, you call campus security and say, I need an escort back to my dorm or my friend's dorm. And they will come and they'll escort you and guarantee that you get back to where you're going safely. Now, the second solution is awareness. Colleges need to make their students aware of sexual assault. They shouldn't shame it or try to keep it quiet. Students should know the risk, and students should know what to do in the event of a sexual assault. So, prevention methods like self-defense classes. Campuses can bring in professionals to demonstrate what to do in the event of a sexual assault, how to defend yourself. And they can also bring in experts to talk about what to do after the event. If you are a victim, what do you do? Who do you call? How do you report? What do you do medically? Things like that. Just really open the eyes of students and make them aware and alert of their surroundings. The final solution is mental health services. While obviously mental health services are necessary in the event that there is no sexual assault, they're very necessary when there are sexual assaults. According to the National Library of Medicine, most victims of sexual assault later develop anxiety disorders, depression, some go into psychosis, some face suicidal thoughts, some face substance abuse problems, and in the worst cases, some commit suicide. And in order to prevent a rape from being even more traumatic or an assault from being even more traumatic than it already is, campuses providing mental health professionals and experts with training on sexual violence help ensure that victims can be okay, they can move on from their assault, and they can heal. Without these resources, victims are left lost oftentimes, and they don't know what to do. And oftentimes, anxiety disorders or depression, they come and they hurt the victim even worse than they were hurt from the assault. This is a political cartoon, and I'll read it. This is obviously an emergency campus phone. The girl is saying, "Hello, hello, I need help. I've been raped. Is there anyone there? Hello." Now, if you can't see, obviously no one's going to answer. This is because the phone is unplugged. There's no service. And for many rape victims who were raped on college campuses, this is how they feel. They feel that no one's listening, that no one was there to prevent it, and that no one's there after the fact to help them deal with it. Feel that their issues get swept under the rug or just outright ignored. And I think that this is obviously terrible, but it's confusing because colleges make so much money. This is just a singular dollar, and I'm sure you've all seen what a dollar looks like. But I want you to imagine 142,000 of these. That is the average cost of four-year tuition in America. That's what most students spend. That's the average, at least. Of course, it varies from school to school, but that's what most students spend for a four-year degree in the U.S. Now, considering that there's millions of students all over the U.S., that number increases dramatically. Actually, according to the National Center for Educational Statistics, in the year of 2019 to 2020, over $671 billion were spent on post-secondary education. Now, I think that's a lot of money, and I'm sure you think that's a lot of money, but I think anyone could agree that that's enough money to implement at least one of these strategies into every college or university in America. And I think the fact that many colleges don't implement these things, it's outright irresponsible, it's neglectful. And I think this is why so many college students feel this way after being a victim of sexual assault. I want to read a quote from President Obama. "No one is more at risk of being raped or assaulted than college women." Now, of the million issues he probably dealt with as a national leader, he felt the need to speak on this one. I think that says a lot to the severity of the issue, and I think it says a lot to the prevalence of the issue, and it's sad. It's outright sad and disappointing because of all the billions of dollars that goes into these schools. They're not protecting their students. So I believe that it's students like me or like you or parents of students or friends of students. It's their responsibility to say, my money will be used to protect me, and solutions like those presented need to be implemented into schools. Thank you.